what is up? Today I'm taking a look at the high-grade Alteisen from Super Robot Wars OG. Once again, this video is brought to you by those awesome people over at HobbyLink Japan, so if you need some awesome mecha model kits all of your own, then check out that link down there in the description. Now let's get into this. So now jumping into the overview of absolutely everything that comes inside the box, and the Alteisen is a mech that does not need any extras. So all we've got in here is a pair of alternate hands. However, Bandai did throw in an action base 4, which is always a very nice touch. It means you don't have to go out and buy one separately, so that is pretty cool. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the build. Once upon a time for me, there was a time where I would outright ignore every single high-grade release by Bandai. It's not that they were bad kits, it's just, for me, they never sparked that particular spark that got me excited about model kits. I was all about Master Grade more than anything else, back in the 2015 and before Mecha Gaikotsu period, but since then, Bandai has really changed how they approach the high-grade line. The technology has come so far, and now it's to the point where most of the time, I'm excited for pretty much every high-grade release. This definitely goes double when Bandai goes for other franchises outside of the Gundam universes. I've always loved the designs of what we see in Super Robot Taisen or Super Robot Wars, this particular one being Super Robot Wars OG, and the one that has always stood out to me the most is the Alteisen right here. It's such an over-the-top, awesome mecha design, and to see that Bandai is actually releasing some high grades from Super Robot Wars has me super excited. The build here is incredible. This is a very nice high grade. The color separation is impressive. We do have some stickers, but none of them are real deal breakers. There's a couple on the front skirting that could have been a little nicer, but besides that, this was so much fun to put together. The build is simple but very intuitive, just like a lot of Bandai's kits are these days. And what I was really impressed by was the head. This was super well molded. The design, the angles, everything is perfect. We've got some clear green parts in there if you want to maintain that while painting it. And the weaponry, which is very unique on the Alteisen, has been given some ridiculous attention to detail, especially that super awesome pile bunker revolver on the right arm. One of the coolest looking weapons I have ever seen on a mecha to date. Anyway, let's check out what the kit looks like once it's finished. So jumping right on into the aesthetics with that full 360-degree spin. Now I will mention all of the stickers have been added on here, so if you want to keep that in mind while it is spinning and see if you can guess where exactly they are before I mention them in a little bit. Besides that though, this is one big, badass, awesome looking high grade right here. The color separation, like I mentioned, is very good for the most part. We do have a couple of stickers that do bring it back a little bit, and there are some hollow sections that could look a little cooler. But from the main perspectives, looking at the head, the body from the front, the arms, all of the critical areas, it does look phenomenal. Honestly, I didn't really know what to expect from this particular kit, but it has impressed me so much. I like this kit and I like it a lot. So we're gonna jump in a little closer to check out the details, and first off I will mention that the vast majority of this is built from the ground up for this kit, but we do have this one shared runner in here. And this is titled High Grade Super Robot, and around back then, it does say Bandai Spirits Made in Japan 2021. So I'm not sure if that runner is included in this box right here or not because I have not opened it up yet, but let me know by hitting that like button if you want to see this kit come up soon. I've had it for a while, I haven't gotten around to it, so I just want to kind of gauge the interest a little bit. So let me know. This could be in there, and by this I mean this runner. And from what I'm seeing with the Alteisen here, I hope to release a whole bunch more, like Huckbane. Another couple of interesting aspects about this kit is the fact that we've got some hard points on the side skirts, but nothing in this box to attach to them. That and the fact that the fists in here actually have a holding little segment here. This is probably just so you can actually pop some other accessories into the hand of the Alteisen for, well, the sake of fun or customs, but that is interesting. Potentially variants coming in future. So as for a bit of a size comparison, first off, the instructions in here do not say that this particular kit is to scale at all. Actually, nothing says there is a scale to this kit. However, in here it does mention that the Alteisen is 22.2 meters tall. So if I slap a high-grade Gundam down beside it, you'll see that the high-grade Oryx 78-2 is apparently around 18 meters in the lore. So it is in around 1/144th scale, if not a little larger than it should be mildly, but it is in and around, so to me, that counts as 1/44th scale, and that's good enough. They suit, they work, it's high grade sized. So just for another couple of comparisons, there it is side by side with Gundam Barbatos Lupus, which apparently is meant to be 19 meters tall, so looking more scale accurate as we speak. And there it is beside a core Gundam, because why not? Lastly, there it is beside a master grade, so as you can see, it is a fairly sizable little high grade. So anyway, once again talking about those stickers, and we're going to move from the head down to talk about what's a sticker. So first up, the eyes right there, those are your typical high grade style stickers that you see on Gunpla and pretty much everything by Bandai. Now, I will mention I had a little bit of trouble with these when I pushed the face on. It did push the eye that you're looking at right now down a little bit, so it did crumple the sticker. A little bit difficult there. Be careful. So now moving down the model, and we've got some metallic green ones in the clavicle segments right there. Up on the shoulders, we've got some tiny little yellow triangles. What looks to be the entrance to the cockpit, I assume. That is a sticker and probably one of the worst on it. We've got some on the front skirting armors, also not looking the greatest, those red ones right there. On the sides of the legs, we've got these little vents or thrusters or whatever those little doodads are. That is 4 of those. And finally then, we've got these little red strips on the 3-barreled machine cannon. Not so bad, but again, probably would look a lot better if you painted them yourself. So one thing that definitely disappointed me about this particular kit is this right here. I thought we were getting dual layered verniers. What I mean by that is 2 separate parts, gray on the outside, yellow on the inside, and it shows this on the box and in the manual, but it turns out these are all just in simple gray. I wish they didn't draw so much attention to them on the box. Like going, look how awesome they look. And then just give us this right here. Again, it's easy to paint the inside yellow, but feel a little honey trapped by that right there. But besides that, the color separation and the detail is phenomenal. The head is so crisp, so perfect. We've got some nice color separated venting in the legs and in the chest. I will mention that I did pan line inside of the chest and some of the white segments on this. Not a whole lot because they have kept it very plain on the surface, which I guess is accurate to Super Robot Wars. Finally, then we do have some awesome detail like these opening segments up in the shoulders, which contain the square claymore, which are cast in gray, which is very, very nice. So jumping back to the beginning of the review, and there's absolutely everything that we saw when it comes to accessories, so let's check them out one at a time. So in this kit, we've got 2 pairs of different hands. The first up are these ones right here, which are the fists we've been checking out throughout the entire review so far. So the second pair of hands we have in here are a widespread pair of dynamic hands, which are always a nice touch to have something that isn't just curled up into a fist. The detailing on these is quite nice. However, I will mention that all the fingers are, well, kind of at the same angle, which makes it look a little bit not so dramatic. Not the worst aspect, just thought I would mention it though. As for swapping out all those hands, it's the standard high grade pull out the ball joint and stick in the other one. Next up then, here we get a full action base 4, which is a very nice touch. This is an extremely good action base. Black on the bottom, clear for the arm. And I will also mention that we do get the full set of leftovers on the runner. So these are all the adapters and parts for using with a multitude of different kits, depending on what the particular attachment point is. Including these kind of cradles for kits that don't have an attachment point, and parts to make those little grabby arms for grabbing around the waist of your figures or kits, or just for holding up some weaponry. So that's always a nice bonus. As for the way this attaches to the Alteisen, it is a little bit interesting. The Alteisen goes on without any adapter whatsoever, so it's designed specifically for this base. So it attaches on just like so. This is a perfect attachment, so that means it holds him up perfectly, and this is going to go nowhere. Always great to get an action base inside of the box. So now jumping into the articulation and moving from the head down, a bit of a comment on the build. This thing is a brick, absolute brick, and I love it. I will mention though that the joints on this are not the same as what you will see in high-grade Gunpla, so for the most part, nothing here will be directly compatible, maybe the hands. This has some big joints, probably to deal with the fact that there's a lot of Archimedes going on here that'll just yank off the limbs if these were smaller joints. So first up, no giggity goo here. The neck is a standard old school ball joint, so you got your tilt, your rotate side to side, and you're down, and you're up, and yeah, that's inclined to fall off if you use that for leverage, but yeah, that's it. The joints in the torso are aligned to move back to front. What goes inside of that then is a ball joint, And I'll also mention that the way this works is the shoulders kind of pivot on the top of this right here. Yankinate that off. And then we've got a pretty standard shoulder style joint in here. Full spin too. So when that is attached in there, it can swing forward and back like this. Full rotation. And all the up and down is on this. It's one of those balls that if you do this a lot, it will fall off inside, which can get a little irritating, but could be worse. So when those humongous shoulders are on, there is the arm. All the way up, it does get very blocked by all of this. All the way down, and 360 spins the entire shoulder. In order to get to the square claymores, this moves out like this, slides down, then fully opens, and the bottom one just swings open. Very simple, but very effective. Round back, we've got 2 pieces of armor which move, this white one down here, and this red one, so you can angle these to get some nice dynamic action going. The elbow right here is a somewhat simple single joint bend that will get you that, and the wrist right here is a standard ball joint. So this weapon here is so cool. I'm actually going to have to remove the arm just so we can get a bit of a closer look at it. I really like it. And this right here is the revolving stake, aka it's like a pile bunker with a revolver cylinder, which is cool in its own right, but what is even cooler is the fact that Bandai made this so you can actually flip out the cylinder in the center. How cool is that? So you can see all of those cartridges that allow this to be, well, basically thrust into the enemy. Look at that, it's just like an upside down revolver. That is kick-ass. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot to mention, yes, it does spin. Awesome. So while building the waist on this, it showed a lot of promise because there's a lot going on in here. And as you can see, this has a great ab crunch to the front and back, considering, you know, how big this guy is. We've got some side to side as well. Problem is you're going to have to tighten all of this up, because if you do tilt it forward to get that ab crunch forward, it just drops on back, just like that. Next up then, we've got the rotation from there to there. It can go all the way around, but you can see what happens. Very classic ball joint style front skirting, swings up just like so. Next up, the side skirt, which has a nice smooth swing to the front and back, nice joint there. Above that then we have a ball joint, so that can move around quite a lot, very nice. And around at the rear skirt, paralyzed. So moving into the kicks, I will mention that there is no moving mechanism inside of the waist, so it's stuck at this point. The kick to the front is very, very nice. Out to the back, it is blocked by that very large butt flap. Move these out and see, can we get the full splits from the Alteisen right here? Yes, we can. Next up then, full spin at the upper leg. Nope, just there to there. We've got a little bit of an armor lip on the front that does block that from going the whole way. The bend at the knee then is a double point bend. It doesn't bend too far. We've got a very, very chunky leg down there, so that's all we can get. And getting that foot in the ground. And first off, I'm going to mention one little thing. I meant to mention this in aesthetics, but I forgot. See this little section here? I can't get that to lie flat on either leg, no matter how hard I squeeze. So if you have this kit, does that happen on yours? Let me know down in the comments, and if that is the case, it seems like that might have to be cemented into place so it'll lie flat. So anyway, as for what we can get here, there's the leg all the way to the back. Quite impressive. If I'm not mistaken, this can move up and down. Very nice. Moving that to the front, and that is all we can get there. And as for the side-to-side pivot, it is there, then to there. So not too bad. So when it comes to the articulation on the Alteisen, sure, we do have a lot of limited joints on here, which does restrict a lot of the more dynamic poses that you may or may not like to pull off. But what we do get in here is extremely good considering how bulky and thick a robot this is. I have to say, it does more than I was expecting, so I am impressed. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and I am very pleasantly surprised with this kit, so I am giving this gold tier. If you don't know how my ranking system works by now, that is brown bad, silver as expected, gold very, very good, and platinum the best of the best. So that does mean this is a very, very good kit, and more than I was expecting for this particular kit and this line. So there is a couple of down points, of course, being there is a couple of color inaccuracy issues that does need some paint and some stickers to correct. There are some limited aspects when it comes to the articulation, and the waist will need some tightening up out of box, it seems, from the one that I have here. But besides those particular factors, this is so impressive. It does so much. This kicks so much ass. It's got so many cool features. The weapons are insane. It's got nice opening hatches. The design looks stupendous and the mold is perfect. The face looks killer, and this is one hell of a high-grade kit. It's big and bulky for high-grade, and it does so much. Out of box, this is absolutely beautiful. Highly recommended, especially if you love yourself some Super Robot Wars. As usual, if you do want one of your own, there is a link down there in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back again tomorrow for another model kit review, and I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you so much to each and every one of you guys for watching these videos. Without you, this channel would not be possible. And my special thanks to those helping out over on the channel memberships and over on Patreon. So that includes Craig Jerry, Caleb Engelhardt, Sean T. Van Fawn, Global Frequency Studios, Lauren Seahack, Joseph Kuklunk, Mr. Winter, Forsetti, Joe, and Orgy 59061.